Breaking now at 6 a.m. Intense rainfall from a strong atmospheric river pounding western Washington right now.
That's right. We are tracking local rivers at major flood stage, including the Puyallup River. This video from Orting, where folks say they haven't seen it this high and fast in a decade.
Rain sending mud crashing onto eastbound I-90 at milepost 34 east of North Bend. The roadway just reopened in the last 15 minutes, but you'll still see lots of debris there.
We love that improvement. And then there's this in Gold Bar. Quickly rising water on the Skykomish, forcing an overnight rescue operation. All right, want to give you another look here. That's the radar on the left. A whole lot of green there, showing us a whole lot of rain. And then you're seeing the Puyallup River in Orting. It is raging right now. So far, though, staying mostly within its banks, which is good news. We do know, however, we've got another storm on the way.
We do. We're tracking breaking weather news around Puget Sound. Get ready. It's going to be a rough couple of days in western Washington. We say good morning to you on this Tuesday. Glad to have you with us. I'm Holly Menino.
And I'm Kelly Koopmans. We're here to get us all through it, right? Steve McCarron has a lot to get to from the live desk. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell in for George this morning. Major weather warn morning. Shannon, this rain has been relentless so far. We're seeing the results with the rivers that we were just showing folks on the roadways. We know Tyra's tracking that as well, and so much more.
Yeah, just a snapshot of where we're going, because even though, as you mentioned, we're in a bit of a respite, there is so much more rain to go. Second surge due in tonight through tomorrow. You can see another 3 to 5 inches, if not more, of precipitation, especially over the Cascades and the Olympics. But south end of the Sound going to get hit really hard again. So we are talking again about this rain slipping to the south for now, resurging tonight through tomorrow. The atmospheric river is not through with us quite yet. We'll break down the expected totals for the rest of the region coming up shortly.
Sounds great, Shannon. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. The roads are looking dry for the most part. The freeways, I-5 at 228th Street Northeast. This is in the Skagit County area, but your local surface streets extremely wet. You will also see some road closures due to standing water. Make sure you don't drive through any of those areas and try not to go around it. If there's a detour sign or a closed sign, go the other way. In about 10 minutes, I'll bring you a closer look at where I'm seeing road closures and a look at the increasing drive times.
Well, let's touch on one of those big ones from overnight. That breaking news east of North Bend. Heavy rain causing a mudslide to fall across the lanes of eastbound I-90 overnight. Those eastbound lanes, as we were told a few minutes ago, just reopened within the last half hour.
Let's get right to KOMO's Natalie Fahmy. She is near North Bend this morning. And Natalie, what are you seeing right now?
Good morning, Holly, Kelly. Yeah, traffic has resumed as normal. I'm here on the corner of I-90 where just one lane is closed. You can kind of see behind me still an active scene. Most of the mud off to the side now. Crews say lots of trucks are going to be coming in soon now in order to get the river flowing again, because of course we're expecting more rain and more heavy rain, so they want to try and avoid flooding as best as possible. We did just ask WashDOT about it about 20 minutes ago.
It's been a long night. The forecasters called for an atmospheric river event, and we are certainly seeing the effects of that. We've got 3 things happening in our region right now, from North Bend to Clallam. 1, we've got that mudslide, eastbound I-90, milepost 34. This is late breaking news. I just posted this on Twitter. It is reopened right now. Our crews were able to successfully work to clear all that debris overnight.
And this opening does come a bit earlier than expected. WashDOT did say originally crews were going to reassess the scene when there was daylight, but of course they were able to reopen the road earlier this morning. There was a bit of stop and go traffic a few miles up the road a bit earlier this morning. Again, now all working as normal, just except for one lane that's closed down, the right lane on eastbound I-90 near North Bend. Live near North Bend, I'm Natalie Fahmy, KOMO News.
All right, that's some great improvement. It was troublesome overnight, so we love seeing that. Natalie, thank you.
We're also tracking the flooding situation in Pierce County. This is video from the Puyallup River at Orting. It was supposed to hit flood stage there at 4 a.m. So far, no major issues in Orting, but people we talked to along the Puyallup River told us they haven't seen it like this in nearly 10 years. It was really raging. Remember, water like this, totally unpredictable. It can start covering roadways quickly. Your best bet is to stay as far away from riverbanks as possible until those waters recede.
And here is some new video from the Snoqualmie River in Carnation overnight. It is close to flood stage as well, but so far we're not hearing of any major issues there. We do know more rain is on the way, though. So for that, we want to get over to meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell to walk us through what we've already seen overnight and then what's coming next, because as you've been warning us for days now, it's the 1-2 punch of the two atmospheric rivers.
That's right, and we're going to see the same behavior in our rivers. They are going to crest, in many cases recede, and then come up again. Same goes for the urban flooding. We're still seeing some standing water from the heavy rain last night. A lot of that will finally make it through these very backed up storm drains, and then it happens all over again tonight. So rain is certainly the overwhelming issue. Many of us getting 10% of our annual rainfall just in about 3 days' time. That's a lot of precipitation for us to handle all at once. Of course, it has led to the flooding, both the river version and the urban version. Urban just refers to all that standing water you're trying to commute through when the rain gets going. We're also talking about mudslides. Certainly that has been top of mind this morning with what just happened over I-90 near North Bend. It will also get gusty again. And believe it or not, we are still dealing with some mountain snow. We had the closure for a while going over Snoqualmie Summit. You had to go over Stevens and White, both advising, if not requiring, traction tires because it's still snowing up there this morning. Down below, it has cooled a little bit. That has helped bring the snow level down. We're in the upper 40s, though. Those are our usual daytime highs, 47, 48 degrees this time of year. That's where we should park it late in the afternoon, not first thing in the morning. First thing this morning, the rain started to slip to the south right on schedule. There's that big fetch, the atmospheric river extending deep into the Pacific. It's that narrow corridor of really intense water vapor, and therefore it gets that atmospheric river name and moniker. You can see again the heavier rain has slipped down toward Longview, but overall we're still under an overall flood watch for the region. A flood watch means flooding is possible in the entire western half of the state, and parts of eastern Washington for that matter too are under that overall flood watch. It gets up to a more serious warning, any sort of weather variable, whether it's a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning. A flood warning means that the flooding is already happening or is about to, and over a half dozen rivers here seeing some major flooding, including the Snohomish. We just talked about the Snoqualmie there, the Tolt, the Puyallup, and the Carbon too. A look at the futurecast showing this heavy rain starts to, again, sink to the south, but look at it make a comeback tonight. And boy, it just keeps going. This is Wednesday morning. And throughout Wednesday afternoon, guys, it is going to be a long slog here as that rain intensifies again over the next 24 hours. We'll check on the extended forecast, see when it finally starts to let up in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, this is one of those mornings where we hit the tipping point, and now we're dealing with problems all across Puget Sound.
Yeah, Steve, what's happening over at the live desk?
That radar was kind of a doozy that Shannon just showed us, isn't it? We're seeing specific problems in Snohomish and Lewis counties this morning. We just got an update a moment ago from the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office on that water rescue I first told you about last hour. So this is the area where it happened on Ben Howard Road. You can see this is just south of the Skykomish River there, essentially in between Monroe and Sultan. So we're told that a woman got stuck in her car in a flooded road there on Ben Howard Road. She was able to get out. Sounds like she got on top of the car while waiting for some help. Our deputies, or the Snohomish County Sheriff's deputies, found her using a drone, and then firefighters rescued her via a watercraft. So she's doing fine right now, we're told. The Sheriff's Office just responded to a report of a stuck driver on a water-covered road. This is a different area west of High Rock. This is on Crescent Lake Road. Someone apparently called 911 to report a vehicle was stuck in the water of the road there. Deputies have been trying to find that vehicle right now, but apparently we're told by the Sheriff's Office they have not found anything, so they're not really sure if the driver actually made it out. Snohomish County Sheriff's Office just posted this warning on X moments ago, reading from the middle of this post here saying, please stay safe, do not go around road closed signs, and turn around if you see water over the roadway. It's usually much deeper than it looks. Stay alert and also be safe. All right, now let's get to those school closures and delays, which again, the bulk of these are in Lewis County this morning. And you can always check that full list at our website, KOMOnews.com, or scan that QR code in the corner of your screen. That'll take you to this full list on our website. So Adna's 2 hours late, Chehalis 2 hours late, Morton is 3 hours late, Onalaska 2 hours late, PL 3 hours. Toledo is closed this morning. That's the only closure we're seeing so far. And then both White River School District and Winlock are both 2 hours late this morning. Again, check this list at our website, KOMOnews.com/closures.
In Snohomish County, 2 people had to be rescued after water quickly rose into their campsite along the Skykomish River. Those 2 people started calling for help at around 9 p.m. near Levee Road, which is on the south side of US 2 between Startup and Gold Bar. Crews used drones and water rescue craft to get that couple to safety. They are now said to be okay, thankfully. The Skykomish River, though, hit major flood stage at around 10 o'clock last night. That had Gold Bar police going door to door in the Moonlight Drive areas last night to warn people about flooding.
And also in Snohomish County, and in response to that flooding, the Evergreen State Fair Park is offering emergency stabling for local livestock in its equestrian park barns. Owners can bring all types of livestock except dogs by submitting a signed waiver. You must provide your own food and care. The fair park will supply stall shavings and waste disposal. Stays are limited to 5 to 7 days, with extensions considered on a case-by-case basis.
From Cedro-Woolley to Mount Vernon and downstream, communities along the Skagit River are also bracing for major flooding. 2 atmospheric rivers aimed right at the region prompted the mayor of Mount Vernon to declare an emergency. Mount Vernon has a relatively new flood wall. It was tested during record flooding in 2021 when the Skagit crested at an historic high, 37 feet 4 inches. Well, that wall worked. And this week, the Skagit is forecast to crest at 34 feet again, and then at 36 feet. The emergency declaration now means an emergency operations center is now open. We will talk live with Skagit County emergency officials in just about 20 minutes from now.
We're tracking reaction from across the Sound, including from the National Weather Service, WashDOT, and our own KOMO crews. Last night, Governor Ferguson also posted on X saying his team is working with the National Guard to prepare for the impacts of this severe weather system, and it's not over yet, as you've heard from Shannon. We're told the National Guard has activated its operations center as well.
All right, this is the time to be armed with our KOMO weather app. You can get alerts sent directly to your phone by downloading the KOMO News app. Also, keep us pinned at KOMOnews.com, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for up-to-the-minute weather, traffic, and breaking news reports.
Okay, should we finally take a look at traffic? Things are looking okay, thankfully. We don't have any major crashes, but this is a tough issue on I-90. Thank goodness the eastbound lanes are open, but 906, the road is blocked between Hayek Drive and Yellowstone Road due to water over the roadway, so that's right at Snoqualmie Pass. Thankfully, our major corridors are dry. 405 at Southeast 59th Street. This is in the Bellevue area, looking good. We do have a closure in Solton. This is south of US 2. Looks like 311th Avenue Southeast is closed right now from Skyview Drive to Ben Howard Road due to water on the road there. And then all the way down in Pierce County, this is out of Ording, SR 162, closed in both directions. This will impact drivers heading eastbound, maybe toward Enumclaw, or westbound back towards South Hill. That closure near exit 15 near Arlene Drive. Green on the maps everywhere else. We do have some backups and congestion out of Federal Way in Auburn. Stick around. In 10 minutes, I'll bring you a look at the increasing drive times.
All right, we want to get another live look right now at the Puyallup River in Pierce County. This is east of Ording. The river hit flood stage at around 4 a.m. this morning. We're hearing that it's over some roadways now, potentially, too. Take a look at it. That's really raging there at this hour.
Just crazy to see that. Some utilities reporting power outages as we brace for round 2 of these atmospheric rivers tonight. I'm going to break down the numbers next at 6:12, and we'll head to Stevens Pass next as well.
is 6:14 right now. We're watching conditions up in the mountains this morning. This is the view from the Snoqualmie Summit ski area.
You can see a lot of snow out there on this KOMO weather warn day. Sleet at Snoqualmie right now. White Pass, though, traction tires are required. And Steve is going to give us an update on Stevens Pass.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you that in just a second of that live picture up at the resort at Stevens Pass this morning. First, I want to talk to you about the power outage situation. Not huge numbers that we're seeing this morning, but obviously as we wait for this second atmospheric river to move into the area tonight, those certainly could be a major issue tomorrow as we come on the air tomorrow morning. So this is a look at the Puget Sound energy outage map right now. Looking at this number, there's about 2,500 customers there on the right-hand side that are without power at the moment. The bulk of those seem to be west of the Skykomish area. We've been seeing some issues with flooding along that river this morning. Also southwest of Falls City, and certainly the area near Snoqualmie Pass, where our Natalie Fahmy has been reporting live from all morning until the reopening of those eastbound lanes because of that mudslide and that situation. All right, now let's head to Stevens Pass. I'm going to start replaying this picture here, this live picture that's coming in, just to show you that it's actively falling, and snow has been falling overnight there at Stevens Pass, the ski and snowboard area. So if you plan to hit Highway 2 to maybe avoid some of that congestion that we saw because of the earlier closure of the eastbound lanes on Interstate 90, traction tires are advised in both directions of Highway 2 over Stevens Pass right now. It's snowing. There's some slush on the road, also ice to deal with too. So certainly take it slow if you're heading over the mountain passes this morning.
All right, Shannon, this is just the first part of this double whammy we're experiencing of these two atmospheric rivers.
Absolutely. We're seeing the moisture seg to the south today. It's hanging out right near the Oregon state line. Round 2 due in just in time for the evening commute, and it will pick up and get heavy at times overnight tonight and stick around almost all of Wednesday. The lights sure look pretty when it's raining. That's the flip side here. You can see the beautiful view courtesy of Lisa Ketchum, but not so beautiful if you live near one of our big rivers that is flooding. Almost a dozen that are under major flooding conditions right now, and nearly 24 experiencing some sort of flooding. Most of us just contending with all the standing water for the morning commute. Even in Seattle, we have all these lingering backed up storm drains because it just let loose through several hours over last night. Second surge due in this afternoon and continuing all night long. Right now, mercifully, it's drier though at the moment in Seattle proper. It's 48 degrees, so it's still far too warm. That's warmer than our usual daytime high. But look at the rain totals. Many of us picking up 10% of our annual rainfall just yesterday. Here in Shelton and Olympia, that was about what happened. 3 inches apiece in the gauges there. That is very significant. And 4 to 5 over the north central Cascades there, including Stampede Pass. We are seeing again over a dozen that are experiencing some of that major flooding, including the Skykomish, the Naselle, the Grays, and the Carbon, and of course the Snoqualmie there in East King County. Not through yet. You can see this big fetch of moisture diving deep into the Pacific, a so-called atmospheric river, because it's that narrow and very focused round of water vapor, and it will continue to increase our rainfall later this afternoon. Right now, the rain is still falling, but at least it's lighter around Tacoma and back on in toward Lakewood and Lake Steilacoom, but it picks up in intensity all the way down to the Oregon state line and over the Willapa Hills. Temperatures this morning still near 50, especially at the coastline, but we are still seeing some snow falling over the passes. It's 31 at Stampede Pass, and as Holly just pointed out, traction tires are required over White Pass because we have heavy, wet snow falling there over the top of Highway 12. This extensive atmospheric river again going to move to the north as we head into our Tuesday night. Increasing rain, especially after dark, after sunset, so the evening commute gets rough. And look at all of that rain falling again tomorrow as the second surge takes over. One of the models here bringing another 3 inches of rain in the gauges for some of us in the South Sound, including into Tacoma, and over 6 for Snoqualmie Pass. So this is so much precipitation to deal with in a short amount of time. It's no wonder that we're contending with this widespread flooding. For today, we are talking about a break in the rain for now, but it picks up again this evening. Temperatures a little cooler. That's good news. Upper 40s to about 50, including in Friday Harbor and Port Townsend. A break there around the Salish Sea until tonight when the rain takes over after dark. It will do so at the beaches as well. Ocean shore is still in the low 50s today. Not as gusty, but we're still going to call it breezy with those winds gusting 20 to 35 miles per hour, and downright windy again in eastern Washington. Also warm and wet with highs in the mid 50s out of the Tri-Cities. Next several days, we've got 2 more weather-worn days to get through just to underscore the heavy rain leading to urban and river flooding. And even once this lets up, it doesn't totally dry out. Still looks damp at times into the weekend and still running warm. Highs in the low 50s when we should be in the upper 40s this time of year.